Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and myself and Darth are back to play some more Alien Fireteam Elite cooperatively. So, it's Saturday, it's hot, it's unpleasant, but thankfully air conditioning exists. So Darth, you were telling me about how some shit was breaking early on.
Yeah, my Celtic Predator's arm and foot broke, but luckily with some flex glue, glue, they are staying in place as well as my Pred Alien's arm.
Yeah, I hate it when
So
stuff falls off like that. I had that happen to an Enterprise once. It was the big 1/350th scale Enterprise. Oh my god, it's an engineer face. Well, he's kind of ugly. I don't think I want to blow up a face like that where everybody can see it.
Yes. Curious.
God, that movie was so pretentious. But
yeah,
that Enterprise got smashed so bad. I actually got a.
What happened to it? Did it fall?
Yeah, it fell off. It fell and broke into about 50 different pieces.
Oof.
At the time, that was my single most complicated model I had ever made. Because that was back when Enterprise was still popular and you could get these 1/350th scale model kits. I think it was a Polar Lights. Took me forever to build that thing. It was worth it.
Excuse me.
How dare you? I mean, may the Emperor bless your future. But yeah, it's one of those models I kind of have to rebuild. I know I could do it, but it's like, fuck it, I don't want to.
Fair enough.
Like, I did it the first time. I didn't throw it out or anything, but one day I may have to take it out into the garage and, well, glue every piece back together and repaint it and buy another set of stickers for it because they all came off.
Oof.
There's like some stickers that are around or decals. Let's call them decals because we're fancy. The fucking decals around the shuttle bay, right? It took it took so long to get them to be perfectly aligned. Of course, they're the ones that get blown away in the first. Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
That's why I keep most of my shit in a box now. It's like, you know what? One day when I have like glass covered, you know, shelving, then I'll put the shit out. But until then, no.
Right.
Or I'll keep like unpainted models out, like my F302s from Stargate SG-1.
Oh, okay.
That way, if they fall, it doesn't matter. They'll be fine.
Oh, there's a crate over here.
But you gotta love how they have to talk about Prometheus. It's always about the Prometheus. Electroshock rounds, overloaded rounds. Like, wait a minute. If you have overloaded rounds, you know what that means, don't you?
Too much gunpowder?
Yeah, somebody made it wrong. It's like, thanks. That'll blow up the gun. It's like, let's put some proof loads into this thing. That totally won't break. Because, like, since we're like colonial marines here, how long do you think it's been since these pulse rifles have been adopted?
I'm not sure.
I mean, you think about the spare parts, they probably all came from China. Well, space China. Spina. Because that's what happens in real life. Like, these, like, real life military guns are not quite as good as people think they are. You know, because they're old, they're not really taken that well care of. Just because someone's in the military doesn't mean they're a gun nerd, like, say, you know, I almost said the AVGN. Yeah, you know, the angry gun nerd.
That'd be an interesting channel.
Yes, it would. No, but like the, like Gun Jesus. Not everybody's gonna know everything. I can never remember the fucking thing here, because you would think you'd hold one of the fucking bumpers here and that would bring up the menu. How the fuck did I do that? There it is. Why is that a D-pad button?
D-pad.
Because I use the controller because my hands are tired.
Oh. Fair enough.
There we go. This does not seem like this would be... I bet if this game came out like in 2005, we'd be saying it was the greatest game ever made. You know, because like this
Probably.
isn't bad. This isn't bad. I mean, it's just pretty generic. It's pretty uninspired. But at the same time, if it had come out, that's one of those things. Like, what exactly is nostalgia? You know, is nostalgia?
Let's see.
Wait,
Okay.
wait on.
Let's say if it's anything that gives you a good feeling that you go back to. I guess.
See, like, I can agree with that, but like nostalgia is often used as like a negative sort of thing. It's like, oh, it's just nostalgic, but it's actually bad. So in my mind, like, nostalgia is where you enjoy something that's bad because it's something familiar, like McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been Grimace's birthday. Who knows who Grimace is? I do, but that's because I'm old. Do you know who Grimace is?
Yes.
How? You're 10 years younger than me.
Well, so there used to be a McDonald's in Schaumburg at the Schaumburg Mall over by Chicago. This was a pretty decent sized McDonald's for a mall, and they had the characters basically plastered all the way around the restaurant.
Huh.
And they had a little play place type thing that had a bunch of the characters and some pretty cool themed stuff as well.
Okay. I guess Grimace lives on. Grimace endures. We need to see Grimace in like fucking Warhammer 40k power armor with just the tiger head like Grimace endures.
Better Hamburglar.
Hamburger's like a chaos space marine. Hamburgers for the hamburger throne. And Birdie, well, obviously it's a changer of ways.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Birdie.
And then Ronald's like the Emperor. It stands immobile on the burger throne. But yeah, like McDonald's, you know, that's one of those. Do I want to call it a restaurant though? Really?
Nah.
One of those places that, as a kid, I used to go there all the time. They had the play. Kids today are kind of screwed. You ever think about that? It's like they don't have the simple joy of McDonald's anymore. It's all corporatized bullshit. There's no Saturday morning cartoons. There's no X-Men. Although X-Men 97 might be good. You never know. And evidently the showrunner's like, we do not want to hire anybody who doesn't like the show. I still would love to have seen the Aliens 90s animated series. It's like, to me, Aliens needed to grow beyond just generic horror, because really the modern day Aliens incarnation is just generic horror trash. I would not have minded seeing, you know, like an animated show where like Ripley's kung fu fighting xenomorphs. I mean, it's like, what would that have been that bad? You know, it's like make her like a robot or something. They did that in the novels. Like give her some super strength.
Oh, yeah.
Esther, you get anything off that terminal?
She was destroyed by the xenomorphs because we can't say killed. But she was reborn as a machine. Sadly, we couldn't have like romance between her. Actually, no. There were some romances in 90s cartoons. Like, you had a romance between Robo, Ripley, and Hicks.
That'd be funny.
It's like, I mean, she would have basically a fleshlight. I mean, never mind. Like Gynoid Ripley. I could go for that. See, like, when I was an adolescent, I did find Ripley to be, like, extremely attractive. Today, I kind of do, but it's like she doesn't really have too many assets. But that's a sex act, I guess. Yeah, the animated Ripley would have, like, G-cups.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, she just knocks out the aliens with her boobs.
It's her alien eggs. Never mind. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Alright, once we get to the door. I'll check. I'm getting a feeling this game is basically just stand in place, go to place, stand in place, go to place.
It very well seems that way.
I mean, there's only so much this could be. I mean, this is the Left 4 Dead 2 formula, or Left 4 Dead 1 in general formula, but whatever. I mean, there's only so much they could do with this.
Special Xeno.
Yeah, I mean, that is so obvious. But then again, I mean, it makes sense. It's a good idea, I guess. It's an interesting thing to rip off. And of course, you got the Vermintide, which is Left 4 Dead, except for Warhammer Fantasy. And Dark Tide is pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's a nice generic formula that works. Well, I don't know why we couldn't have had a first-person game instead it's third-person, but whatever.
Who knows?
For me, my favorite kind of game like this is still going to be Killing Floor. Because there's just a little bit more to do in that. Who made it? It was Ridley Scott trying to be overly fancy, man. Okay, I'll check and see if there's anybody in the chat. There we go. And hello, Bro Moment. And hello, Agnostic Librarian. Making myself an Elvis sandwich. Not bad.
What was that? Peanut butter and banana?
I do not remember, to be honest. I used to, though.
Oh yeah, combat androids, by the way.
Oh, this is where the cover-based shooting happens. When they don't want you to shoot humans, they bring in that. Oh, wow, they fucking hurt, too. I just got blasted by them. Only an executive could override these androids. What happens if, like, there's just a glitch? Like, you know, the update fucks it up, and they just start shooting at you. It's like, really? That seems pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But when you consider how everything seems to be really dumb, and I mean everything. I don't just mean, like, video games or like, movies. I'm talking, like, everything. Like, how does anything good ever get made? Because, like, you look at some of the early treatments for, like, say, the various Indiana Jones movies, and, like, one of the great Indiana Jones films, The Last Crusade, that's one of the best films, like, I won't say of all time, because it's very much a subjective sort of thing. But, like, the early drafts of that were, like, didn't even have Indiana Jones' father. Instead, it had him trying to search for the Monkey King. Like, what? Why? How? What? Seems a strange concept. So, with how idiotic these androids are, see, like, consider, if you will, in the original Aliens novels, like, combat androids were something like super illegal. Because, I mean, it's obvious that they could be a major liability if they got hacked and started trying to kill everybody. Right. And so now they're fucked up and they're killing everybody. It's like, arming robots is not a great idea, especially if they can act autonomously like this. It's like only an executive, and you don't have one? Wouldn't that be something you'd really need? And why would you design it that way? I mean, obviously we need it. We need it. And look, they got fucking shields and everything. And like, okay, let's say they did kill us. Then what happens? Like, what happens? Like, who rescues them? And it's still bad, even if they don't kill us, because we're blowing them all up. Like, wouldn't these guys have been really useful against the Xenomorphs? They got the high ground. They were programmed by Obi-Wans. The negotiator.
You want to know something that's slightly funny about that?
Huh?
His Venator is called the Negotiator.
I did not know that. That was one of the few good things from the prequels, is that Star Destroyer is a thing of beauty. I actually got the Lego version of that. It's not bad. It's not the best Lego Star Destroyer. but it works well enough. It's decently detailed without being overly large.
Well, that's good at least.
And for anyone who showed up at 7:30 a.m., I was sorry I did not set it to p.m. I was busy sleeping at the time. I like Aliens as much as the next man, but I'm not waking up at 7:30 on a Saturday, unless I'm getting paid a lot more than I would be for doing the live stream. I expect to be well paid. Fried peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwich.
Rodriguez, you still with us?
Battle Porex. Okay, I'll look at that because I wouldn't mind playing Killing Floor co-op again.
No worries, ma'am. What don't kill us just pisses us off.
There are mods for Killing Floor that turn it into an Aliens game with like a queen as the final boss.
Well,
that's the
cool.
thing that made. Wait, what were you gonna say?
I was saying that's pretty cool.
That's one of the things about Killing Floor that I liked a lot more than Left 4 Dead is that, you know, you survive X number of waves. Okay, I'll try to get you back up as soon as we finish destroying all of our own defenses because some idiot didn't think to bring in an executive because video game. Oh yeah, we got grenades. And like our guy, our beta male over there, you know, like, here's my thing. Like, let's say somebody did hack him, then what? Wouldn't it make sense just to, whatever. Personally, I'd like.
There's a sniper up there.
Oh, why would they need a sniper if they're fighting xenomorphs? Well, they got fucking sniper rifle xenomorphs. Xenomorphs like face hug Simo. Like, yeah, because when you attack, the melee enemy does require you to have a precision rifle. Because that makes sense. It's kind of like the Seegson androids. Like, why did they need super strength? When would they ever really need that?
I couldn't say.
Because, like, you consider, like, okay, they got super strength. Isn't that like a major liability? Like, once again, if they go nuts. But it's one of those things. If they don't go nuts, you have no plot.
Oh, that's fair.
Like, these robots have to go crazy. How many robots did they have?
Apparently a lot.
See, one of the things I love about plots that don't make a lot of sense is because it's very fun to just kind of rip into it. It's like, this is stupid. Like, and besides, you wouldn't have much of a story if everybody did things intelligently, because, like, then we wouldn't be fighting robots, and we'd either just die or not even show up at all. It's like, that's one of the problems when coming up with, like, plots for stories. If you use, you know, like 100% logic, it falls flat because, well, then you don't have a story. That's a big problem with time travel. If you have access to time travel, you don't have a story. Unless you, like, have a lot of bullshit. Because, like, okay, let's say you have the ability to travel through time. Why not go back in time before anything bad happens? Because, like, you know when it's going to happen. So you go back then and make sure it doesn't happen. Well, then you have no plot. It's kind of like, I came up with, like, a fanfic many years ago. I've mentioned this in different streams. That basically is this self-insert thing that turns me into, like, this quasi-godlike entity. The only problem with that particular story is, the more I thought about it, the more I realized how bullshitty it was. Because I wanted, like, okay, the idea I came up with back then was like, okay, you could, like, save these various characters from death, right? And that sounds cool in theory, because you know when it's going to happen, and I'm down, by the way.
Oh, I'll come grab you.
I'm being savaged by a runner xenomorph.
Back the sniper.
It's like, so I can go save cool characters from death. That sounds cool in theory, but in practice, it's like the technology that I kind of gave my self-insert fanfic character was like time travel and all kinds of shit like that. And that sounded great, but then I started thinking about, like, okay, if you know when it's going to happen, why don't you stop it before it happens? Like, Terminator, for example. if you have access to time travel, you don't have a story because you basically don't even let Skynet be created. How do you do that? By ensuring that John Connor isn't born, which means there's no reason for Skynet to send something back in time. Therefore, technology isn't artificially increased. Therefore, Skynet is impossible. Stuff like that.
That's true.
It's just little things like that that you start looking at. It's like, wait a minute, you literally don't have to do anything. And then there's the power level issue of like, okay, you've got access to time travel, so couldn't you just, if you start to lose, reset the timeline? It's kind of like with the whole Thanos snap sort of thing. It's like,
all right,
if he's that powerful, how do you even... And I know that in the comics nobody could fight him, and I think he got bullshitted at the end. Because that's the one problem with comics. You're like, okay, he's so super powerful, like, then how does anybody win against him? My only problem with comics is just the fact that they're never really that compelling, and they're way more complicated than they need to be. Did you ever try to read, like, say, an X-Men comic, and, like, there's all these characters, and it's like, who's this? Who's that? That's one of the things I loved about X-Men the Animated Series, is that they had a core cast of characters that didn't really change, and so you could see them grow, and you knew who was in it when you started watching it. It's not like, wait a minute, who's, oh, what the fuck is that guy's name? The gold guy. Adam Warlock. Like, who the fuck is that? Who's Adam Warlock? I think he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 now, but it's like, you try to read Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic, and it's like, who's Adam Warlock? And then, who are, the Annihilation Wave? Annihilus? Who's Annihilus? What? It's like, what the fuck are you telling me? Yeah, very few do, unless you keep current with these fucking comics, of which there's a shit ton. It's like, just get, and you try to read X-Men. X-Men is such a convoluted series. Because I wanted to read the original comics, you know, like the Uncanny X-Men, right? And like, you're reading it, and you got some myth arc stuff, and then you randomly have a demon show up that's trying to kill Storm, and it's like, what? Where did this, what? At least with Aliens, it was always pretty straightforward back when that comic was current. I actually went ahead and tried to read that modern day Predator comic with the Mary Sue. It's even worse than you can imagine.
How's that?
Well, of course she's good at everything. I mean, that's a prerequisite. Not only is she good at everything, but she routinely decapitates predators, like, all the time. And it's not the main plot is the predators killed her family, because of course they did, and she wants revenge. Well, she doesn't just kill like one the plot isn't about this woman hunting down the predator that killed her family. It is, but it isn't. She does eventually get him, as you'd expect. It's like, that's not a spoiler. It's like, what do you think, she didn't get him? It's like the search for Spock. What do you mean they didn't find him? But the reason why that comic is so bad is because, of course, she can't just be content with like killing a predator like any other protagonist. Because remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger could barely kill a predator. And, like, killing a predator was like this big deal. Like, you could barely take one out, and you better be lucky. You better be rolling all 20s, man. Well, this Mary Sue character, of course, kills like 8 and hacks their heads off and stuff like that.
Jeez.
And it's like, really? This 5'4" woman that weighs about as much as Schwarzenegger's left leg is just cutting them up left and right. You know, and I get that people would be all like, what about Machiko? She doesn't weigh any more than Schwarzenegger's left leg. But yeah, but think about this. She went up against a predator that was much smaller than the norm. Not only did she do that, but she wasn't just cutting him up with a sword. Okay? She was shooting him. She was using proper tactics. She was fighting smart. Lead the team. Lead the team.
Oh, fuck.
Lead the team. Use your Fortnite skills.
There you go.
I'm still not entirely sure what kind of game Fortnite even is, to be honest. I haven't bothered to look. I'm just too old for that. I'm too much of a boomer. Wait, aren't I too young to be a boomer? Well, I don't like the term boomer shooter. It's like, unless you're talking about like the guns booming, I'm not really sure. I guess maybe boomers made them, but I don't know. I think like the various guys behind Doom, wouldn't they have been too young to be boomers though?
I have unlocked.
Wouldn't they be Gen X?
Rally up, fire team.
Probably.
It's not a boomer shooter, it's an X shooter. No, that doesn't work.
Protected by 16 million character ciphers. Esther, seal the door behind them. Catch your breath, fire team. Rodriguez is just ahead.
I died at the end there.
Oh. Fireteam Elite so far. Tried it for about an hour. I thought it looked a bit cheap and started playing Far Cry 5 instead. I mean, it's a fun enough game if you're playing it with other people. I mean, for me, it's like if I tried to play this by myself, I'd be bored to tears. Save it for as a headset. Yeah, they're not that expensive anymore. Well, I got the L36 Halberd. Quick draw magazine and 80 requisition credits. Can I get a Dakimakura skin too?
Closing in on Rodriguez's group.
Oh my.
They're at the bottom of an
Okay,
ancient
okay,
bridge
continue the
we won't talk
campaign
about.
here.
It's a
The
trade
campaign.
secret. There's haywire Wayland Yutani security stints ahead.
What if there's eventually a
Hunt through
queen
them,
fight?
link
I would hope so. But like, if you're not playing this with other people, it's totally not worth playing. Because it is a pretty boring game without just, you know, shooting the shit. Because, you know, it's shoot xenomorphs. Really, that's the big problem with a lot of multiplayer games, is that they wouldn't be that fun if you played them by yourself. I don't even think Left 4 Dead would be
really.
that.
The Xenos behind us weren't exactly safe. What's down here with
The voice acting is not that bad. It's just too bad the script is crap. It's like, it's god awful and like, what could be down here? Is it an engineer? Like, we should have had a boss fight by now. We had something, you know.
more Wayland synths.
Oh crap, I just stopped right in front of that machine gun. Oh crap. Okay, I gotta run. We're supposed to be shooting xenomorphs, man. Yeah, this is somewhat similar to Colonial Marines, where you shoot xenomorphs and things that shoot back.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't the first time that happened, now that I think about it. Like, that did happen in AVP2, but it was done a lot better, and the actual androids were considered very rare because it was extremely regulated. Like, once again, you don't want autonomous robots. This is very reminiscent of Alien Isolation. It's kind of sad that Alien Isolation didn't really spawn any other games than that, or single one. Because that was legitimately a good game, if a bit long.
Yeah.
It was like 20 hours of stealth crap. The problem is, it didn't really understand its pacing very well. I think I mentioned that in the review. Is the big problem with it was just the fact that, like, there's like 5 different endings. Like, just end already. And then when they carried on the plot line for Amanda Ripley, it was terrible.
What's behind? Xenos!
It was god fucking awful. Then she ended up, like, I think she ended up getting cancer and dying, just like in Aliens. And then she had a husband who was kind of a pissant. And for some reason, I have not read the books with that character, but there's so many books now that follow the character of Zula Hendricks. I just couldn't bring myself to bother with it, because I just figured it was going to be yet again more Mary Sue crap. It's like, we could at least had a boss where we had to fight, you know, a helicopter. I mean, that'd be very 2010, but at least it'd be more than just xenomorphs and a couple of robros. Like, maybe we fight a helicopter, maybe fight, you know, like a a synth in a mech suit, a slightly larger xenomorph. Because like the big problem here is it really is just rinse and repeat kind of gameplay that would have still been laughed at back in 2010. Now that I think of it, because you got to give the player something more than just this. So like, do you feel like gameplay has like gotten simpler in the last, well, decade?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, there's too many games that are trying to be very similar to Call of Duty in the way that combat is. Like Predator Hunting Grounds. I haven't played it, but when you play like the human characters, it feels like you're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, I did not know that. Because I never played it on there. I didn't even know what the gameplay really was. I thought it was just a rip-off of Friday the 13th, the game.
Oof.
Oh my god, it's Ridley Scott's Engineers. It's the Fungineers, right? Disney, the worst place on earth. I've never been to Disney. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World for that matter. Never really had much of a desire.
I'd say save your money.
Spray gray and electroshock rounds. I think the biggest problem with it's kind of funny, like talking about things are more like Call of Duty. I used to say that every game was like Call of Duty back around the 2010s era, and you know what? I was wrong. They really weren't. Because yeah, a lot of the games had the cover-based crap and regenerative health, but at least they had some imagination. These days, about the only thing that's any good is indie, and it's still. I want to go back to the 2010s. They were the greatest. I remember when Alien 3, not Alien 3, AVP 3 was like the worst of all of them, and now it's like we haven't even had an AVP game in 12 years.
Damn.
And it's been 20 years since AVP 2 and its greatness.
Is it really?
Yeah. No, it's been 21 years. It can drink now. AVP 2 came out in 2001. I was a mere 12 years old.
Synth power cell. We can use that to overload the door console.
Oh, we actually have to get an item. It's like it's a video game or something. Okay, let's see if there's anybody chatting up.
Console set. Ready for overload.
Alright. Endless ammo. See, like, the problem with the endless ammo crate is that it's convenient, but I'd almost say it's a bit too easy.
Yeah, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no, tense feeling.
Yeah, since it's not really scarce.
Mm-mm.
There needs to be a little scarcity here and there. Yeah, my SMG here has absolutely appalling accuracy. I mean, come on, at least be a little more accurate than that in real life. I mean, come on. Either that, this guy just does not know how to shoot. Like, he has no recoil control. Okay, see, that's not too bad. A heavy synth, but we still need a boss, though, at some point.
Heavy synth.
Oh, crap, he is pretty heavy. He's been hitting that McDonald's a lot. He's accepted all of the Hamburglar's empty promises. Destroy the abominable intelligence. I'm just hoping that Space Marines 2 is actually worth the wait of about 12 years. I think it came out in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Really? They've been drawn by the gunfire? Didn't you say that already? You know, it's like, didn't you already tell me that like 15 different times? Maybe we all should have like suppressors on our guns. See, that's something that's only been in the last like 15 years, that suppressors have become much more common than they used to be. In fact, just about everybody thought they were illegal up until like 2012. Which they had not been. It's just, they'd not really been economically viable. Repeal NFA. They're still very expensive. I mean, like, if you want a can, you gotta pay. Because you got the price of the can, and then you've got the price of that tax stamp. And yet, here's the weird part. In many of those anti-gun countries, you can get a suppressor pretty easy.
Continue the advance.
Really?
Yeah, go figure. It's like, go figure. So this week's Star Trek Strange New Worlds turned out to be pretty good. One of the things about Strange New Worlds is that you've got some really crap episodes that are kind of wokey McWokerson, but then this last episode was some of the best Trek I had seen since 2005. It was crazy. They had a new character and a legacy character work together for mutual benefit. I mean, what? What is this? Also, the chick that plays the character La'an Noonien Singh is like the single... No, she's not the hottest Star Trek character. She's the second hottest Star Trek character of all time. First hottest will always be Jadzia Dax. The real strong independent woman. I'm actually tempted to say that when I meet the actress later this year. It's like, one of the greatest female characters in all of Star Trek. But still, though, the La'an Noonien Singh character is not bad. She has to work with Captain Kirk, played by the new guy, who isn't terrible, but doesn't really get Kirk. And they have to work together, and he doesn't get emasculated by the strong, independent woman who don't need no man. And it actually tries to fix some of the continuity issues with all the visual updates. And so, I mean, it shows that if you get a halfway decent writer, even a modern show can be worth watching. I'm going to keep watching Strange New Worlds, if only for the bile fascination. But really, though, of course. Wait, can we, like, pick him up and sell him for bottle caps? Oh, wait, wrong game. I think the biggest problem with Strange New Worlds is simply the fact that it's a original series. I mean, like, I think the dude playing Pike should have been, like, he could have been Captain Bob in the 26th century or something. You know, but it had to be the original series. I don't even know how popular the original series even was until, you know, Star Trek 2009 came out, because for the longest time it was all about TNG. TOS kind of got left behind for a while. TOS was always considered the lesser of the Star Trek series, and now it's like the only thing you see. And my preference has always been TNG. Now, TOS is great. It's better than people give it credit for, even though it is from the 60s. But TNG just was a bit more compelling in many respects. But, well, that's the way things go. Let's hope I don't step on a landmine.
I've stepped on 3 already.
Oh. Like, I'm almost dead anyway. At least they'd show where all the Robros were being held. Okay, I'll check and see if there's anybody there. Yeah, I'm down.
I gotcha.
Clear. That's the last. Get to Rodriguez before more show.
Speaking of landmines.
I think, realistically, once some of this woke stuff dies away more than it has,
Sergeant Herrera, please listen.
a lot of this stuff can be updated.
The only survivors of Paula Station are synthetics.
That'd be nice.
Yes. We're not gonna leave you in their hands, Rodriguez.
You're not understanding me. I repeat, the only ones here are synthetics.
Are you synthetic? Uh-oh. She was dead all along. Dun 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 dun. Whap. Not like that is a plot that hasn't been done a billion times, and Star Trek did it better.
Yeah, there's nothing up there.
No. Or is she like a she's like a xenomorph that can talk? Fucking the alternate ending to Alien.
Huh.
That's a lot of working Joes.
Damn it, I'm
Good.
tired.
I know that feeling. Yep. Oh, I'm aggroing like everybody. Oh crap! Why does he have a whip?
Oh shit.
Why does he have a whip?
That's not a whip, that's a hammer.
Oh, I thought that was a. I thought he had like. Oh crap! I immediately ran right into them and got completely slaughtered. That looked like he had some kind of
Yeah.
energy whip. Yep. KIA.
Co, get us on the
There are
deck.
way
I'm
too
pulling
many of
them
them.
out.
That was a disaster. Let's run it again. No rewards found. Oh no.
Didn't you find
Okay.
the hidden cache?
I don't think so. Oh really? We gotta go all the way back to base? Don't tell me we have to do all that again. This game's not good enough for that. I love how that ship, the Endeavor, looks a lot like a Halo ship.
I could see a Mac cannon up front.
Yeah, it's like that's not really,
Hey, best advice I got? Get yourself a good pair of earplugs to sleep, huh? There's always some bring me back something nice.
okay. Well, at least we're almost done with this. Okay, let's launch. I'll try that new gun. I bet it's crap. I bet it's crap. The gun's woke. No, it's not. It's got a pink
Closing in
stock on it.
Rodriguez's group. They're at the bottom of an ancient ruin she won't
Really?
talk about. It's a trade secret.
Okay, so there's
The
the...
T-wire Wayland
Ooh, I
was
also
on
got another
security
rifle, the
since
burst
then.
rifle.
Cut through them, link up with Rodriguez,
The
and get her
A3.
people
Okay,
home
let's
safe.
try this one here. Fancy. Well, I can get smart rounds and a quick draw. Magpul survives into the future. Magpul and does. You still get no optic. Make that true UNSC. I mean, that's not UNSC at all. How about elevator to hell? Going down. See, did I get any better, like, backup gun? No. That machine gun's kind of shite, but whatever. I can put a decal on it. Ooh, we'll just have shark teeth. Wow. I'll look like a real dick that way. Because you know how those people are, where they have, like, all the... We gotta get the rattle can, man. It's like, God. It's one aspect of gun culture that annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, I understand that.
And hello, Grilson.
Marines, you've sealed yourself in a dangerous location.
You know, Rodriguez, be you Michelle or otherwise, you could have, like, given everybody some kind of information, but no, you gotta be dramatic. Dramatique. Commander Riker, I need you to see this. What is it? Now you need to come up here. Couldn't you have said alien spacecraft? Bad shit.
More Wayland synths.
Oh, if only.
But it's dramatic, man. I don't mind a little drama here and there, but sometimes it'd be nice if the protagonists were a little smarter. Just a little. Okay, this gun ain't too bad. Holds 50 cartridges. And it's somewhat accurate, but I don't think it does that much damage. Oh, crap. I think these synths are supposed to look a bit like, supposed to look a little like the engineers. It's supposed to be implied that, I guess, maybe we got our technology from them, man. It's like, I'm sure everyone who invented all this highly technological stuff feels really good that you said it was aliens that did it. I mean, that's got to piss people off. You know, like, you write this software, it's taken years of your life to perfect it, and somebody says, oh, it was the aliens, they gave us it, man. It's like, no, they didn't. I gave years of my life to do this. It's like, but then again, it's not like Hollywood understands how effort works. Or grenades, apparently. No one could understand binary. I beg to differ. That's one of those things, like in fiction, it's always the primitives don't know how to do anything. Like, they're just really stupid. It's like they start praying to like a Walkman, but it's just the language of the but you like point out like, no, it's actually a machine that plays previously recorded music. Yeah, it'd take a little while to explain that, but, well, people had to understand how things work to invent them. I'm just saying. I don't think people in 1850 would call you a witch if you had previously recorded music, because, you know, in about 30 years they were going to have that, even if it was wax cylinders. No one could understand what a automobile is. Didn't they have that since the late 1700s? It just wasn't very good and had a giant boiler on the front. You ever see that?
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Like the first, but it's not really an automobile. Like the first self-propelled vehicle was like from 1770 something. I forget exactly. But it had this giant boiler on the front. Like this massive, I think it was like a brass boiler. The thing went like 3 miles an hour.
Jeez.
It's one of those things that a lot of this stuff is a little older than we think it is. I'm completely out of ammo in my halberd rifle, or what the fuck it was.
Oh, the synth rifle. Essentially.
And now all I've got is a really inaccurate synth detonator. Why would this be useful? I'm just asking, you know, like, why would it be useful to have a synthetic? How many millions of, let's say hundreds of thousands. Because you're not going to be able to buy a synthetic for like $100. You're not going to go to fucking AliExpress and buy a working Joe for $100. It's not going to happen. So, somebody designed a synthetic to have like a shock stick, right? And instead of like doing anything ranged, he's going to charge at you and try to hit you with this little stick. I'm kind of at a loss for how useful that would actually be against something that had the ability to shoot back. Even the xenomorphs, it's like, wouldn't it make more sense to, even if you gave him like a pistol, that'd be more useful than, I'm gonna run at you and hit you with my stick. That's like 40k. Get close out, want to hit him with my sword of truth. Or Sonora. Shannara.
They got a lockdown on the far door. Controls are dead.
Since putting out a lot of power.
Okay, let's grab that. We get electroshock rounds. Even if you had a bolt action rifle, we'd do better than that. You just imagine like a fucking French synth with like a label.
Power cell.
It looks like Ian McCollum. Ian McCollum decided to whore himself out to the synthetic lobby, and now there's French synths walking around with labels trying to shoot and stab people.
Now switch
How could you, Ian? How could you?
You'd be so proud.
Let's see here. Alright. Yeah, sadly it looks like Forgotten Weapons is kind of selling out. It's like, playtowin.com. You can get a enter-to-win.com. It's where you buy some piece of crap and you get entered to win some kind of thing that I'm sure nobody actually wins. I mean, I understand, you know, it's like he wants to get a sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
And a fool and his money are always soon parted, but at least with Temu, you might actually get a product.
Oh, yeah.
or wish.com, you might actually get something instead of buy this piece of crap and you'll be entered to win some rifle that I'm sure no one will ever actually see. Maybe they will, I don't know. I'm kind of cynical about things like that though.
Got a mil-spec heavy in this batch.
Okay, wait a minute. You're saying these things aren't military specs. So, like, what else would they be if they are armed with, you know,
He's got an escort detail.
rifles and stuff like that? What other use would they be? Are these like working Joes that cross-trained? Just fucking blast him. See, since this is a video game, they obviously aren't using like squad-based tactics or anything. As if they did, it'd be way too difficult to play anyway. But you ever think about it though? Like, let's say they did do that. Would it really be useful to have a big heavy guy that's going to be a fucking bullet magnet with a fucking machine gun or Gatling gun?
No.
Beta male, what are you doing? Why are you looking at the ground? I still want to see a cybernetic, you know, a synthetic, a French synthetic with a label.
That'd be entertaining.
It's like he cranks off the first 8 and it's like, I have to reload. Quick, stop him while he's in the reload phase. That actually worked for our video game.
Really?
That was too damn
Yeah, because it takes forever to reload a label because it uses a tube magazine somewhat similar to a shotgun, except you have to open the action to load it. And so that would take forever. Like, you could have like this super armored synthetic, and he's got a label, and like he blasts out 8 rounds. It's like, quick, while he's reloading, like the armor goes up. He has to cool down or something. Oh,
No,
crap.
grenade did nothing.
I'll use my special bullet powers that make bullets go faster somehow.
Video game logic.
It's like, I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree, I guess. I mean, when I decided to be like a gunner, all my bullets go faster too. Although it usually helps if I use ammunition that's designed to go faster, higher ballistic coefficient. Throw grenade. So yeah, it's the 4th of July in just a couple of days.
Oh yeah.
Always enjoy shooting off fireworks.
clear. Rodriguez, we're getting close.
One of those holidays that this year's going by way too fast, for me at least.
Traces you still advance.
Yeah.
Get your
I mean,
prep for evac.
it definitely feels like it's gone really. Oh, there you go, you bastard. It definitely feels like it's gone really quick.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You know, like when you get older, time seems to fly a bit faster because you've been alive longer.
Mm-hmm.
When I consider the time between age 18 and age 25, that seemed like it just seemed like it was crawling at like a snail's pace. And so like from age 30 to 34, it feels like it's been no time at all. When really it kind of has.
Oh yeah.
It'll happen to you. Actually, it's just, I guess it's one of those aspects of aging.
Movement in the walls. He knows.
He knows. What else could it be? It's gnomes! We're being attacked by gnomes!
You know what? If we were started being attacked by gnomes, that'd be amazing at this point.
Yeah. I'm not even talking like the fucking wimpy gnomes. I'm talking like the ones from Dungeons and Dragons, you know, like they're fucking casting magic. I want a game like that. I want a game where like they just throw a fucking curveball at you like that. Like something you don't even expect is gonna happen, you know? I would not mind being attacked by D&D gnomes.
cast a spell and they start saying, "Parry this, you filthy casual."
Exactly. That's the problem with modern day graphics being so expensive. I can't just do random crap like that.
Sadly.
And you know, we have to have more loot boxes. More loot boxes are needed.
That's the last. Get to Rodriguez Sergeant
Yes, getting everybody addicted to gambling.
Your team. The only survivors of Pala Station are synthetics.
Well, Rodriguez, the question is,
We're not gonna leave you in their hands, Rodriguez.
You're not understanding me.
see, like, she's saying that deliberately in such a way, it's like, for people to misunderstand her. It's like, wait a minute, so, are you saying you're a synthetic? Am I a synthetic? I don't know. It is like, what am I exactly? Only 30. Ahead of its time for like 2 years. Yes, it was. And I'm doing pretty good, Emperor Snake. But that's always my problem. Like, wait a second.
I was gonna say, do you have your grenade ready?
Yeah, it's ready to go.
You might want to use it in here.
Oh yeah, when we got, I swear those guys had like a whip. Like a fucking Ferengi energy whip. There's a cool whip. That joke is, I think, 15 years old at this point. I think. For those who may not know, Family Guy is actually a show from the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still going for some reason. Oh yeah, they got a wrench. He does not have like a Ferengi energy whip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. No energy whip. No fun time. I'm actually gonna meet Quark later this year. The guy who played him. I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
Because Quark, man, see, you would never see a character like Quark today. You never would, because it's like everything's gonna be so super duper dramatic, and yet his plotline was super dramatic. I don't really get autographs because I don't really care that much, but I am gonna get a picture with him just because it's always cool to know that you met somebody that awesome. Because he had to do a lot of work to be Quark, because that was a lot of shit he had to get put on him.
Oh, over here, Rodriguez. I can't say it. The lady's badge is right here. Rodriguez. Good lord.
Rico Rodriguez. Where's his grappling hook? Did the grappling hook even show up in Just Cause 3, or did they get rid of that?
I don't know.
I need you to speak plain, Rodriguez.
I told you. Call me Cynthia. SNTHY.
Fuck it with his minds.
Yeah.
Model 9500. I am the central computer of Pala Station.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too. Why didn't you say this 15 fucking minutes ago? Instead of playing fucking coy.
Oh, there's a chest back here.
G cup or D?
Wait, what?
A chest, G cup or D?
Oh.
Da 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 da. Bwep.
I prefer G.
Yep. It's like, that's sexist. What's wrong with being sexy?
Esther, where's Rodriguez? Cynthia, whoever.
Also, that's not how you spell Cynthia.
Rodriguez, Cynthia is on those servers. No one on Pala knew that? Honecker didn't know that?
No, of course he didn't. Because if
We need a way to shut Cynthia down.
it's Cynthia, get it?
Executables across multiple databases. We must disable the network hubs.
Of course we gotta disable the network hubs. Also, she has executables? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Same as the console before.
We gotta pack the firewalls, man! We gotta like reset their Wi-Fi password, then they can't use their Wi-Fi anymore. We need to like open up the NAT router and like go to Windows Event Viewer, and then like we can change their like Windows password.
There's another intel thing down here.
Alright, I'll go check it out in just a second.
Oh, it's Mother.
Okay, you know what we could do? Okay, how about this? Why don't we, like, convince Cynthia to delete System 32? How about that?
Oh shit, sniper. It's right here.
It's the Mother system. So wait, is that the one that's made out of like that woman that was like a gang member? No, she was like a gang boss, and then like she kind of died, and then got turned into a computer for some reason.
Oh, Lucretia Borgia.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind her being Mother, but at the same time, it is kind of odd that like, why did they turn her into a computer? Was it ever implied that she was that smart?
I don't think so.
That was a damn good game. I mean, the camera was ass, but at the same time, I'll take a bad camera for good gameplay and a story that's actually remarkably really good for what it was.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was done by Grant Morrison. The Grant Morrison, who isn't, I don't think, particularly popular anymore.
Do you comprehend the significance of these ruins? What do you risk unleashing here?
Well, Cynthia, maybe if you'd told people like who you were, what you're doing, you know, maybe if you told anybody anything, we wouldn't be down here. But I guess that wouldn't be dramatic enough, would you? Would it be? You know, this is the real world, not fucking medieval times. Good thing those aren't actual, you know, like bullet shooty turrets, and all they do is shoot like stun rounds. Otherwise, we'd be kind of screwed, wouldn't we? All right, well, let's go ahead. And the synth core also doesn't make any sense.
Not really.
In the universe humans are not prepared to grapple with.
You mean the universe, even though humanity is barely spread out through, what, like a couple hundred planets? I think you're going a bit too far. I hate it when people talk about the universe. It's like, we haven't even colonized any part of the galaxy yet, and you're already talking about the universe?
Oh shit.
Their optical network, man, it uses the RJ45 cables, man.
Everything to discourage your advance. You wouldn't stop.
I wouldn't really? Okay, you realize Cynthia's really stupid. It's like, you wouldn't stop, but we thought that you were a human being, and all you had to do go... All she had to do was go, I am robot. I am a computer with a lot of porn. I mean, never mind. It's like, just say that, you know? Just say it. Why did you say it? Who programmed you to be that stupid?
Somebody left their aux cord in the server.
Yep. They plugged in like a Gen 1 iPod. We're gonna list the Linkin Park.
Playing Despacito.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of funny to think about Linkin Park. Like, that's kind of... I was alive when they first started to get popular. I say alive, of course I was alive, but I was a teenager when they first got popular, and I remember I knew an emo girl at the time who utterly worshipped Linkin Park. Who was... It's just kind of funny to think, like, I was there at the dawn of the third age of man... No. Not that old yet. But it's like, I was there at the dawn of the third emo age of mankind. It's kind of funny to think that now that's old. Or is it, though? Is that still somewhat current? Because you ever think about this? Okay, so like 30 years passed between 1950 and 1980. By 1980, nothing from the 1950s could be said to be in any way relevant. But how much stuff is relevant between 1980 and today?
A surprising lot.
I mean, Indiana Jones and Michael Keaton's Batman are just two that come to mind. I mean, yeah, the movies they were in weren't any good, but what stuff from the 1950s I know there was the Blob, I guess. That was still relevant in the 80s. There was the Blob, and I think there was something else. I can't remember what it is at the moment. All right, I went down. It just seems like the time period between the 80s and today really just wasn't as long, I guess you could say, as the 1950s and the 1980s.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
I wonder if that's like a benefit of like on-demand media. It's like from 1950 to 1980, you know, the idea of home media was very new. Home media, I don't think, came about until the 1970s, and the late 70s at that. So like if you wanted to watch, you know, a movie from the 50s, it was not as easy as it is today. With not even with streaming, but like the idea of a VHS. Oh crap! I'm gonna die. I'll try to get to you in just a second. I'm super hurt. I'm like at like 1 point of health. Nope, I died.
Beta's about to go down too.
Great. He saw his wife's boyfriend. Vincent Price was also relevant in the 50s and 80s. Yeah, I guess he was. I guess they were. Do a Comic-Con cosplay. Barry Burton. That's a nice and easy one. Okay, good God. Please tell me we don't have to start all over again. If we do, I think I'm going to pull my hair out. Actually, I don't want to do that. What do we got? Okay, this is where it gets kind of stupid. This is just game design 101 here. Why would you need to go back to the Endeavor to restart the mission again? In what way does this make sense?
It doesn't.
Regulation, Corn. Let's rack up the highest kill count in this whole damn battalion.
Please tell me we don't have to go all the way back. You know what? We're gonna drop the difficulty. Fuck it. We're gonna be a filthy casual.
I'm okay with that.
Because like, this mission is not that great, and I'm not gonna play it a third time and potentially die.
In on Rodriguez's group. They're at the bottom of an ancient ruin she won't talk about.
Actually, wait, let me cancel. I want to try that other gun.
There's Haywire Wayland Yutani security synths ahead. Cut through them, link up with Rodriguez, and get her people home safe.
We got Lancer mags now. Like, I don't like Magpul Gen 2s. You know, I gotta tell you, I don't know what the difference between a Magpul Gen 2 and a Magpul Gen 3 even is.
I have no idea.
I do know that Magpul Gen 2s are, for whatever reason, more expensive than a Gen 2. I'm not entirely sure why I would pay more for what is effectively the same magazine, but whatever. But yeah, just the sheer amount of relevance from the 1980s to today is pretty considerable, and I think it's a combination of home media, the internet, and just, it was that good. Because, can you name me an equivalent to Star Wars?
Not really. I mean, Star Trek, but that's not completely equivalent.
I mean, like, from 1977 to 2000, and let's say 2017. In that, I can't do math. Is that 40 or 30 or 40 years? I think that's 40 years.
You said 1977?
Yeah, to 2017. Is that 40 or 30 years? I think it's 40 years.
I don't know. Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, how many years was between 1977 and 2017? Oh, you're so helpful, Siri. 40 years.
40 years. Okay. Fuck, even in the future nothing works. I really should not have immediately jumped in front of a shit ton of machine guns. That was really dumb. Maybe I am a filthy casual. So yeah, 40 years. In that amount of time, what was something that was as popular as Star Wars? That had as much cultural impact as Star Wars? That wasn't based upon, I know what somebody's going to say, that was not based on a previous piece of media.
Jaws?
I don't know. Well, it's not like Jaws spawned a giant franchise, like the Jaws expanded universe.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
It's like the Jaws, like, it's like heir to the Jaws pyre. You got like a super intelligent shark that's like trying to take down the Brodies, and like the Brodies have their own like commercial fishing like navy.
Have a shark that's as powerful as Darkseid.
That'd be hilarious. But like no, like a media franchise that could be comparable to Star Wars.
I mean, the only thing I could really think would possibly be Marvel.
Yeah, but that's based on previous media, though. It's not like Star Wars was invented whole cloth out of nothing and became this massive media franchise with multiple eras, characters, concepts. Oh crap! I got hit by that grenade. The only thing I could think that got anywhere as popular, I think, was Lord of the Rings, but that was based on a book.
Yeah.
It's just, that's why to me is Star Wars gonna lose relevancy when there's like nothing like it. There's no equivalent in the modern era. Because Marvel already existed. It's kind of the same way with Indiana. Actually, wait a second.
I was saying that's true.
Indiana Jones, it's arguable that there's been equivalents to him. There's been a lot of equivalents to him. Like you had the Mummy movies, Laura Croft. I'm trying to think of something else that was similar to Indiana Jones. I think it's a lot easier to do because it's just archaeologist explores weird crap. Like, okay, that's not that original.
Area secure.
But there's been no equivalent to Star Wars. There's been no equivalent to Aliens. Arguable.
No, not really.
I will say, arguable. It's Dog Soldiers, though.
Prowler.
That's an old movie now. 2002, I think, is when that movie came out.
What is it called?
Dog Soldiers.
I've never heard of that.
Ugh. Dog Soldiers is basically Aliens, but werewolves. I actually did a video on it many years ago.
Oh.
But it's Aliens, but werewolves. There's even a scene where they cut the power. What do you mean they cut the power, man? They're animals.
Literally.
There's supposed to have been a sequel, but if there is, you know it's gonna be terrible. It's like 20 years after this.
We just follow the plot of Aliens 3 or Alien 3.
So wait, the guy who played Soap McTavish would have to be bald and go to prison, and like the prisoners start turning into werewolves. Actually, that one doesn't sound like that bad of a movie, I guess. Check the chat real quick.
Funny enough, I was 4 years old when that came out.
God. Jones, yeah. 28 days later, you know, that was a very popular movie for its time, but it was more of a flash in the pan kind of thing. I never really cared for zombie movies much anyway. They all kind of do the same thing. Crazed cannibal killers. I think when it came to like zombies, this is actually not that much easier, even on casual. So
Really.
I will give them that. This game is not super easy. Yeah, punch him. Wait a minute. I was able to punch this guy twice. Fucking elbow drop this guy, and it killed him in 2 hits. Really? These are some weak guns. I mean, why am I shooting like 22? If it, literally, I just punched him in the face twice, and it killed him.
Well, now we gotta be fair, it's 22 hollow points.
There you go. I like 22. It's cheap to shoot, and I like a lot of the 22 guns. But it's like, I would not want to take one to Raccoon City, that's for sure.
No.
But there's some things that do stand the test of time, but the question is, why does Star Wars from 1977 stand the test of time, but like, say, an equivalent movie such as Forbidden Planet doesn't really? Are people just lacking in imagination, or what?
I don't know.
And why does the 80s maintain like this popularity amongst people who were never even born, even close to the 1980s? I'm not even. I'm more of a millennial than I am a Gen Xer.
I have no idea the differences between all that stuff.
Like a Gen Xer is somebody born, I think, from like 1960 to 1980, I think. Fucking blast him. Okay, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea.
And he's down. Something ironic, my father-in-law just started playing Just Cause 3.
Nice. I only ever played Just Cause 2. I mean, it was a fine enough game, but it's like, meh. Maybe I should give it a try one day. I want to smack him. Man, my Marine is tough. I can literally beat up a robot just by punching him in the face. Yeah, Just Cause 2 is one of those games that was near and dear to my heart at one point. That, along with Time Splitter Future Perfect. Because that was back in the old days of YouTube, where you could find reviews of games that weren't just bullshit or overly produced corporate crap. You ever heard of a channel called Classic Game Room? They no longer exist, but they did for a long time.
Yeah, I think I remember them.
I remember the review of Just Cause 2 and Time Splitter Future Perfect. Like, just watching that quick video was like, yeah, I gotta buy the game because it looks good, and it was. If a bit, Just Cause 2 was pretty basic when compared to, say, Time Splitters, but it was definitely a game that was worth playing. Indiana Jones got canceled for 360 and PS3. Oh damn. Yeah, Indiana Jones kind of gets the shad end of the stick, although apparently Dial of Destiny is not complete trash. Apparently. I've talked to several people who've seen it, and they said it was not as bad as the various reviews would lead you to believe, so... Maybe? Maybe? Hopefully?
That'd be a nice change.
I figured, the female character in that would just completely take over and make fun of Indiana Jones. I know, like, in one of the trailers, apparently, the female character was like, and you stole from indigenous people. It's like, didn't you try to put stuff in a museum so it wouldn't be stolen by unscrupulous individuals like Bellic? Okay, so these chargers here with the shock staff, that is, I think, supposed to be like the suiciders from Serious Sam.
Oh yeah.
Except they're not as fun. They're not as funny though. Oh crap.
Don't the Suiciders have that really funny yell?
Yeah.
Get your people prepped for evac.
Okay, so why is this?
Watch out.
And please, call me Cynthia.
There's
I was busy reading the subtitles. So like, she wants us to call her Cynthia. Right, so why didn't she tell us here? I think she's a haywire AI that just wants to kill some humans. Skynet, man! It has more to do with studio
Skyner's trying to
execs.
reemerge.
We don't have an imagination. Okay. The studio execs meddled before, though. So, I don't know. There are some stuff that doesn't really stand the test of time. Like, one of my favorite horror movies, like straight horror movies, is just an Alien ripoff. But one that I thought was halfway adequate was The Faculty, and it very much It's an early 2000s movie. It's like, imagine Alien in a high school, and that's pretty much what it is. Instead of like xenomorphs, it's these little. Actually, it's more like it has more to do with Star. Well, it doesn't really have anything to do with Stargate, but like it is Alien in a high school, kind of. But the aliens are more like the Goa'uld from Stargate, where they take over people's brains, and that's pretty much the alien invasion, and these high school students have to stop them. It had a pretty famous Jon Stewart as a professor, no, as a teacher in that. Is Jon Stewart known for anything other than just The Daily Show and maybe a few minor acting things?
Not that I know of.
That's another crazy thing. Jon Stewart hasn't been relevant in over a decade, I think. Or almost a decade. Same way with some of those other personalities. I'm just thinking about all kinds of like old shit now. It's like what was his name? Bill O'Reilly. He was a big cultural touchstone for a while. And then something happened and he got fired from, I think it was Fox. Maybe it was CNN, I don't remember, but he was very, I know he was hated by the Sajubs for a while. Actually, Sajubs didn't even exist at that time, but was hated and like would be mocked in like video games and movies. I wonder what happened to him. Did he die or something?
I don't think so.
Have you ever heard? Do you even know who Bill O'Reilly is?
Yeah, I know who. I've heard of him.
Okay.
I don't remember much that he was doing, but yeah.
You see, like today, it's all about Tucker Carlson. It's all about that guy now. But for the longest time, it was Bill O'Reilly. I don't know if he was on CNN or not, because I know that like CNN used to have people from different political like backgrounds up until like I think 2016. But he was on something, and it was all about the controversy. Like, oh, what did Bill O'Reilly say now? A lot like the Tucker Carlson guy.
Oh.
I think Tucker Carlson was also on CNN at one point. Maybe it was Fox. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Fox.
Shows how much I keep up with talking heads. It's like, what did they say now? Uh-oh, he said the bad words. We're gonna send a working Joe. Why do these working Joes have hoodies on though? That's my question. Like, who dressed these people? Or robots?
Probably other robots.
And yes, Alien did not need any prequels. Yeah, you see, like Jay Leno, The Tonight Show. Yeah, I actually watched a video on that a couple days ago. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, I grew up with that. But Johnny Carson was on The Tonight Show for 30 years. Can you imagine somebody doing a show every night for 30 years? Yeah, originally, he, well, actually not originally, but he started getting fame, according to the video, because a famous comedian at the time, Red Skelton, he had a show. This is the 1950s we're talking about. And he got like a concussion, and so Johnny Carson subbed for him, and everybody liked him, so. And then eventually he got his own Tonight Show, and, well, the rest is history.
I did not know about that.
I was a bit too young for Johnny Carson, because he left the Tonight Show in like 1992, and I'd been like 3 when he was on there. I was smart, but I wasn't that smart. I was not erudite enough to enjoy the comedy stylings of Johnny Carson. But you want to know something kind of funny though? I had a media player. It was an MP3 player, and it had the ability to record off of radio. It was like the coolest shit ever. It's like, you mean you can record from radio?
Huh.
Which I guess is kind of a neat concept, if a bit obsolete today, because you can just stream music via any number of sources. But the reason I bring that up is around 2007, 8, or 9, in that 3-year period, Jay Leno left The Tonight Show for, what was it? Coco was his name. Conan O'Brien, that's his name. Okay, now none of this stuff really matters because this is all stuff from like 10, 15 years ago. No, more than 10 years ago. Like almost 20 years ago now. The reason I bring that up is I had recorded some music off the radio, man! And the thing I recorded was the radio announcer, disc jockey, whatever the fuck his name is, was talking about how Conan O'Brien was going to take over the Tonight Show. It was this big deal back then, and now late night TV is pretty much dead because it all became political propaganda.
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to want to watch... Who even does the Tonight Show anymore?
I have no idea.
I assume it must... Somebody must, but that's... TV's pretty much dead. I mean, it's... I would say that TV's primarily for an older demographic who have not moved on to streaming or better content distribution platforms. But I can't imagine how much of an audience they'd have. Especially with just how political everything is. But yeah, Jay Leno. Jay Leno still actually does stuff. He actually has his garage show, which is more compelling than a lot of that other stuff. He's got a lot of fancy cars.
I wouldn't mind a fancy car.
Yeah. If I was ever going to get something particularly fancy, it would be a DeLorean. Or one of those Nissan sports car things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me check here. I will say one thing for TV is that back when that was all I had access to, before internet was cheap and available, you could see some shows you might not otherwise have watched, or because I could see some shows that I might otherwise have watched because I had no choice. Whereas today I can control every piece of media I watch, so it's like.
I asked you to leave. I did everything to discourage you.
Jeez, these guys are strong.
You wouldn't stop.
The Working Joe.
Yeah,
The Working Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay back here.
What's that about?
Come on, Beta, you can do it. I'll punch you in the face.
The primary hub has failed. The auxiliary is now handling 76% of Cynthia's internal traffic.
Looking for power cores, Fireteam. Let's overload that aux hub.
Yeah, what's kind of funny is like in Star Trek TNG, there was an episode where they said that TV would become obsolete and no longer relevant in 2040. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. And it's pretty
Almost there.
much... Yeah, so we'll see how much longer TV lasts. Broadcast TV just doesn't have much going for it. Although there's an argument to be made about physical media, though. There's some videos talking about how like streaming is not as lucrative as, say, the DVD market once was. I'm not sure how true that is, but may the Emperor bless you, my son. But yeah, you know, it's like physical media does have a place, though, because stuff can be removed from streaming sources. And I was quite fond of having all the Star Treks on Netflix. And then then came about Paramount Plus. And then there's of course always the fear that things are going to be censored for sensitive audiences. And things like that have happened. Almost like that said Sith incinerator. It's like the Sith! You could have used the Force?
That'd be badass.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting enemy you had to fight. More than just... At least we're starting to get some varied synths. This is not I mean, this is not bad. It's just not very good. If you, like I said, if you can get this for like $12, go ahead. Play it with friends, you know, chat about Conan O'Brien taking over the Tonight Show.
All I will say is don't bunch up.
Exactly. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I did not know I could get set on fire like that. Electroshock rounds. Maybe that'll magically. Maybe I'll actually start paying attention to the ammo types here. The helmet on this synth heavy looks a lot like the Doomslayer helmet.
I hadn't noticed that until you said something.
Yeah, it looks remarkably similar. Conan O'Brien taking over the Tonight Show. I wonder, did he actually do any good?
Not really.
Because I never watched his late show anyway. I never really cared. Okay, this is where the game gets kind of tricky. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually pretty good. Damn you, game! I wanted to say you were terrible. Okay, let's just run.
The shotgun's pretty good up close. Take your grenade, bitch.
This synth heavy is crap. How about that? I have to try. Okay, I'm starting to be crap. Fucking melee assholes. Okay, this is actually pretty good. See, now that there's actual enemies that are more compelling than just more generic xenomorphs. Oh crap. Fucking flamethrower. Yeah, where is the yo baby when you need him?
Jeez, there's even more out there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go down. I'm really hurt and I've got no health. No,
it's like, I need to actually set some turrets.
Oh crap. Fucking flamethrower. Fucking flame asshole. That actually is a very good enemy. I'm not gonna lie. I kinda like him. Please don't die. We had to do it again.
Get up, get up, get up, get up.
No!
Fire team down.
Son of a
Deploy
bitch.
Getting it in Jones TV show? I don't think so. Okay, do you want to try this one more time or no?
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you want to try it again, that's fine.
If we didn't do it... Here's the thing, if we don't do it now, we'll just have to do it later. So, I guess...
Yeah.
Let's try it one more time. My god. See, having to go all the way back is just fucking annoying, though.
Yeah.
I hate it when games do it. They're like... It's just, wasting my time. Yeah, glorious day in the court. Nobody cares what I have to say, bitch. I mean, strong female woman that doesn't need a man. Okay, if that shotgun is actually useful, then how about I take that too?
I'm putting on incendiary rounds in the fucking turret.
Cut through them, link up with
Overloaded rounds! Oh, that's
While
overloaded.
The countdown's going. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'm thirsty.
Alright. Crap. Panic green. Panic black. Okay, this thing seemed to be kind of worthless, so we're gonna go back to the pulse rifle. Smart rounds. We got aim assist. Got a new decal. It's a bullet. Wow, I hate those things. Yeah, that looks even worse. None of these look particularly great either. Looks more like the Sith symbol.
Here comes the fun part. We'll be visible from 140 clicks during re-entry.
Okay.
Billionth time is the charm.
The best part of waking up is some Sprite in your cup.
Yep. Oh. Getting it arthritis in my index fingers.
You've sealed yourself in a dangerous location.
The Space
The Xenos
Oh, God.
behind us weren't
The Space
exactly safe.
Invaders video game.
What's down here with us is worse.
Am I go on?
I was gonna say as many times as I snap my fingers a day, I'll have it soon enough.
Yeah. Oh my god.
More Wayland synths.
Cause see, now we gotta go through all this again. I did it again. I just fucking charged over there. And this is on casual. This is on filthy casual.
Third time's the charm.
This is the fourth, I think. I'm running out of like stuff to talk about. I already have gone to the bottom of the barrel with Conan O'Brien taking over the If anyone in the chat knows who took over the Tonight Show after Conan left and Jay Leno, I bet it was yet another Saturday Night Live reject.
I don't know.
One other thing that is kind of old, like Drew Carey, he was very much a product of the 1990s. I think he does some kind of game show now.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
Yep, I knew it was a Tonight Show reject. Not Saturday Night Live reject. I think, wasn't Jimmy Fallon really one of the more insufferable snow people?
Yes.
How the mighty have... he fell upward, but how a paragon of culture that was the Tonight Show has fallen to the guy who did Night of the Roxbury. That's just sad. Who's shooting at me? But whatever. I guess it's what. Guess that's just how it goes. Where once there'd be discussions of greatness, now I guess I just sort of prattle on about politics now. Did you hear what Donald Trump said yesterday? I'm offended.
He put 2 scoops of M&Ms on his ice cream instead of 1.
Those 2 scoops represent privilege. You know they'd say it. They probably have said it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And then all it's just clapter.
All Sierras down. Resume advance.
And then they tried to bring back G4 TV, which I never had. That was like on satellite and not like regular cable, so no one ever really got to, or I never got to see it after Tech TV became that. And then they died because of politics too. It's always kind of funny to look at like sort of the flash in the pan sort of things. Like there were so many videos that got made about Frost Elicus, which was a G4 TV like host, and she apparently had this big meltdown on a live stream. And I remember seeing just thumbnail after thumbnail about she said this, she said that. It's like, oh god, so many YouTube channels get so much traction from just stuff like that.
Clickbait.
Yeah. Joke's on them. I didn't care in the first place.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Synths have a defense line ahead.
Okay, so there was a. And hello, Nick M. It's not as bad as Gears of War. Okay, so like, I think like a year ago, there was this YouTube channel called like G4 TV, and G4 TV used to be a legitimate television channel that did like gaming and things. Well, anyway, there was a live stream, and one of their hosts, somebody named Frost, had like this big meltdown about misogyny, and it like just completely tanked its viewership.
That's
so
interesting.
The thing that was more interesting to me was just the sheer number of thumbnails and videos made talking about this woman. I mean, I guarantee you that, like, if I were to look at my recommended, I would see nothing but thumbnails about Indiana Jones and how it failed, or it makes Harrison Ford look bad. I mean, the people I've actually talked to who've seen it said it wasn't that awful, so
Yeah.
it's just the sad part about YouTube these days, where it's all about the outrage.
Mm-hmm.
And it always has pictures of people's faces doing this. You know, they got their mouths open. Or they have the little red eyes, you know, it's like, why? It looks so stupid. So wait a minute.
It's the clicks.
Yep. So wait a minute, were these like synthetics just either waiting on the other side of that door, or were they like just running? Just fucking full tilt trying to get here in time? It's like, we're fucking late, man! Why were you like masturbating to Siri? She doesn't even work right. Cortana all the way. Or no. I think I'd rather robo masturbate to the weapon. I'd like to use her weapon. Wait, no. They could have come up with a better name than just.
Station's fully complete.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was
Got grenade. All right, we've got the synth slayer. Like, that does look a bit like the Praetor suit. I just see the Praetor suit in that. You see, my problem with Gears of War is it's just such a slow game. It's like you gotta always stay in cover. You can't get out of cover. If you get out of cover, you almost immediately die. Every enemy takes like 6 mags to put down. Did you know they remastered Gears of War?
I didn't know there was a remaster. I heard there was like Gears of War 5 or something.
Yeah, there's Gears 5, but there's a remaster for Gears of War. I know this because I had to look it up because I was kind of curious. Maybe I should try to play it if it was on PC. And well, here lies the problem. It only worked for one version of Windows 10 and will work for nothing but that version.
Really?
Yeah, and this is a Microsoft game. I'm not really sure what their game was, or what their idea was when it came to that. Like I say, the Shaft doesn't seem to really know what it's doing anymore.
Not really.
Okay, how far away are we from where we were? Is this
Pretty
go back
far.
to that? Oh god, you're right. We still haven't even gotten to the fucking mines yet. Ugh.
Nope.
Why, I ask you, game? Why must you torture us so?
These checkpoints.
You had to do the whole level over again, and it wasn't even good in the first place.
You know, kind of reminds me of old NES games where you die once on a level, you go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, that's true, like Contra.
Mm-hmm.
Or Grisor, as it was known in Japan. Grisor was the superior version because it was able to use different chips to get better graphics. I actually have that ROM hack, and it does look a little better. And it kind of has a story. Kind of. Let's see, we got anybody in the chat? Halo Infinite. DirecTV, G4 was okay during the day, but I loved it at night. The series Cinematech and Game Makers were the best. I never even heard of that. Those particular shows. And yeah, Harrison Ford has aged remarkably well. I mean, one day I will watch that movie. I mean, after watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I'm not really that hopeful. Although the worst you could say about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is that it was just really, really generic. It kind of lacked its own identity.
I turned your stream on it, and it has a Raid Shadow Legends ad.
Why can't seriously, Raid Shadow Legends, please, could you just, you know, give me some money? I'll hawk your crappy game, wonderful game. Raid Shadow Legends, it's even better than Doom.
Minefield.
Oh, even for you, that'd be heresy.
If I got to have the sexy time with 70-year-old Sigourney Weaver, I would stop and play Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, good God.
And, you know, for 70, I think she's older than 70 now.
I have no idea.
Hell, I'd still hit it. I actually got a picture of me as Mando with a guy dressed up as Duke Nukem. He did a pretty good job.
She is 73 years old.
Hell, I'd still hit it. I mean, I don't know. What does 73-year-old Ripley even look like?
She actually looks pretty good.
Exactly. I mean, how much fucking Botox? She's more Botox than woman. Twisted and evil. No, twisted and taut. I know, sadly, a lot of the waifus from back when I was an adolescent have kind of aged out.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Kate Beckinsale still looks alright. I'd still hit it. But I'm too busy playing Raid Shadow Legends.
Would be an interesting ad for Raid. I know Samus Aran is in my bedroom, but you know what? I feel like playing Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
You're not understanding me. I repeat, the only ones here
And you just hand like a phone to Samus. It's like, you need to play Raid Shadow Legends. We all need to play Raid Shadow Legends.
You just have to stare dead in the face and say, "This game is better than yours."
Oh god, that would piss off the Nintendo nerds, of which I am one. Now that I think of it. The console wars. God, we are so far away from that place. Why, game? Why you gotta do this
I
to
think
us?
it's the next room from here.
We gotta fight the hoodied Harridans. Actually, I don't know if they're Harridans or not. They're actually males. I don't know, maybe they get on Grindr. Oh god, they would get on Grindr because they're machines.
Yep, they gotta grind their gears.
Oh my. So that's what they do when no one's in here. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I fully respect them for their lifestyle choices. Maybe not their fashion sense, though. Seriously, a bright orange hoodie just, I don't know.
I feel like they're dock workers.
A hidden cache? Did it have, like, special cards we could, like, unlock?
Oh.
Purple gear?
It's right here.
I can get a special weapon color and a hardened electroshock sentry gun. Heavy spring-loaded
Apple thing.
Wow. Evidently, Apple is now worth $3 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
For a short period of time, Apple was completely irrelevant. Like, sponsored by the guy who created Apple computers. What computers? And then we got the iPod, and we got fucking. God damn it. Off to a bad start. Why does the central computer of Police Station need to have a personality, though? I'm just saying here. I mean, what if or if she decided to get addicted to Raid Shadow Legends, then we'd all be screwed.
The engineer was lonely.
Like, oh, you wanted some gynoids, huh? Some hot gynoid action.
Oh my.
I mean, a robot Ripley when she was 25. No. I gotta play Raid Shadow Legends instead. I mean, and then after I played Raid Shadow Legends, we can go out and I can use my Ridge wallet, and while we're on our way to our restaurant destination, we can both use our Aircon earbuds. Or Raycon.
Yep.
No one on Pala knew that. Honecker didn't know that.
I didn't even know Honecker was still in this game.
Esther, we need a way to shut Cynthia down.
We'll just plug in Raid Shadow Legends.
across multiple
Then she'll be screwed.
We must disable her network hubs.
Fireteam, watch for synth power cores. Same as the console before. Lock them in to overload the system.
Okay, I need to heal. Okay, so I've got the shotgun this time, so maybe I could theoretically blast some assholes. Maybe. Actually, I've got sentry guns.
We shoot their heads.
Okay, since I've got some sentry guns here, I'll just start plopping them down over here. This might make things easier, hopefully.
Power core.
Gunny gun time! 12 gauge time. Combat time! Okay, that kind of helped a little bit. The overcharged warden.
There, intact synth power core.
I guess one thing that didn't really stand the test of time was Burt Reynolds. I mean, he kind of fell out of the popular consciousness with Smokey and the Bandit, even though that particular movie was almost as popular as Star Wars. And that's a movie that definitely is very old. Because, like, you couldn't get beer from, like, one part of the country and bring it to another for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I think it had something to do with, like, preservatives or some shit. Since I don't drink beer, doesn't really bother me much. I don't think it's the law anymore anyway.
There are forces in the universe humans are not
Oh.
prepared to grapple with.
I do not drink the alcohols. Just never really acquired the flavors for it.
You know, funnily enough, Mike's hard lemonade, like, they actually kind of taste like soda.
Huh. I've heard of it. And see, Mark's Hard Lemonade is like the less talented brother of Mike. Yeah, it doesn't taste quite as good. It tastes more like store brand. Bad store brand, like Walmart. Yeah, no, that's a Walmart brand of Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's Mark's Hard Lemonade. Mark's Hard Lemon, Mark's alcoholic lemon flavored beverage by great value. I will say the audio mix on here isn't too bad. Cause like the PA system sounds really good when you've got like surround sound headphones.
The primary hub has failed.
It sounds like an actual PA system, man.
76% of Cynthia's internal traffic.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're like loading up Raid Shadow Legends onto her servers.
Load that off, Tom.
I don't even want to know how much space that would take on my phone.
And how many ads you'd get, how much spyware that would have. Look, you know, when I sell, if I get to sell Raid Shadow Legends, the greatest game in the world, just remember you don't actually have to download it.
No, not really.
just say you did, so I can get the you know, sweet money.
Oh, jeez.
It's actually kind of funny to listen to some of the more successful YouTubers. Like, they offered me a lot of money, but I didn't take it. Like, I'd like to be that rich where I can be offered a lot of money and not have to take it.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Damn it. I'm gonna kill that overcharged warden. Yeah, I got your Raid Shadow Legends right here. Okay. These guys are annoying me. Because... Okay, so if we die again, we're just gonna call it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like 4 fucking times. This game is not good enough to make me want to play that many times.
No.
Oh crap. I hate it when they fucking spawn right on top of you too. Fuck it. Run! Run! I'm like on fire. It's just... It's more difficult than I think it really needs to be. And this is on fucking filthy casual.
Bastard, stop me from putting the turret down. Oh, fuck.
Oh, you asshole. Okay, we need to like... I need to like, get to wherever you're at. Because I'm really hurt. They hurt my feelings by talking about, you know, how Raid Shadow Legends isn't the best game ever made. And it made me very sad.
Oh shit, there's so many more.
I know, there's like... I honestly think you almost need like... Okay, we're gonna die. I'm gonna get shredded. It almost seems like you need 3 people here.
There's a health pack up here.
Alright, I'm trying to run out of the kill. There's nowhere to run. There's literally no place to run to. They literally surrounded us and killed us. Oh god.
Oh shit, you're about done.
Yeah, lead the team, man. Defeat literally every enemy in the game. Okay, just defeat all the enemies in the entire game.
Oh,
yeah, so I don't know how you're supposed to be able to defeat it. We'll try it when we're more awake next week. But my god,
yeah.
It's like you need more than 3 people. All right, I'm GeneralLotz. Wish you good. More aliens, Indiana Jones, whatever makes you happy. Good God, like.